In today's video, we are going to be going over the best console champion sensitivity, settings, and FOV, as well as the best way that you can utilize this in the brand new shooting range. But before we get into today's video, I want to talk about today's sponsor, R6 Tracker. Now, with this tracker, you can literally see everything that you can actually think of. As you see here, on my PC account, unranked, but it tells me what the highest on this account that I was. I can go look at my recent match history. Oh, I played casual, went 4-2, 2 KD, solid. I can actually see all of my operators. Like, if I want to see who's my who's my worst operator and who's my best operator. Oh, okay, my best operator right now is Twitch. Something else is really cool about this is, let's say I look at my teammates and I'm like, okay, I wonder how good my teammate is. I can then take this app and I can actually even just type in his name. It'll come up on the live match stat over here, as well as if I just go to the search bar, I can look it up as well. I think one of my favorite parts is definitely when you can go into the live match and see exactly who you are versing. You can see who's on the other team, you can see who's on your team, you can see their KD, their stats, their best operator played, or the most operator played. You can see the average MMR, the entire lobby, you can see your win percentage. You can literally see everything with this app. So I would definitely recommend getting this app. I literally use it every single day. And that being said, I'll have a link down below as well if you want to go download it. But let's get into this video. Alright, so I made a video about this last season, but I want to go into it again, especially with this new shooting range, and I've been able to try out all these different FOVs on console. As you see here, I did a whole video where I tried out a bunch of console champions FOVs and sensitivity. I want to give you guys the best settings. Let me explain. So, for the settings, I mean, I guess I could go over the general ones. I mean, these don't really matter. The HUD doesn't really matter. It's all preference. Volume, I have it lower than normal because I'm doing a commentary and it's so loud. But normally I plan around 70 volume for master volume. Dynamic range, night mode, I like this one the most for hearing everything. Then when we go to controls, we have 35 vertical, 75 horizontal, 5 left stick, 5 right stick, controller classic, obviously aim assist disabled, and then the sensitivity 39, 41, 43, 45, 47, 50. Let me explain everything on why I use this, because there's actual reasoning behind it, not just some random sense. These don't matter. I don't change these because I don't use these scopes. But let me explain. Okay, so you look at vertical sensitivity. You don't want something that's going to be super high, okay? I'm not telling you to change your sensitivity to this, but when you look at a vertical sensitivity, look at this game. I'm trying to record a video, and this bug still happens. Hold on. As I was saying before the game bugged, as usual, vertical sensitivity, you don't want something super high. I mean, I've played a bunch of sensitivities so far, and I've played on high vertical, and I don't really like them. I don't think you need a high vertical. I think the only thing you really need is a higher horizontal. Preferably, I like a high horizontal. You don't need it, though. I play on very slow sensitivities, and people who play on slow sensitivities sometimes are insane, like a Cheese Pie, for example. Look at Truman, for example. Personally, I think if you're looking for sensitivity, I would say try and stick with yours, but I think the best way you can go about it is playing on a lower vertical and a higher horizontal. A higher horizontal allows you to look around a lot faster. It makes everything a lot easier and makes everything nicer. Quickly, let me show you my FOV. I play on 90 FOV. I forgot about that for a second. Let me explain as well everything with FOV. I'll get into that. Now, left stick dead zone, right stick dead zone. I've tried like 10. I've tried like 7. I've tried like, you know, a lot of them while I was doing my sensitivity videos. I haven't really noticed a difference between them. I'm not gonna lie to you. The only thing people I've told is really just, you know, use a higher dead zone based off of if you also have a stick drift, that will help you. But I've used 10 dead zone when I did an effect sensitivity, and I didn't really notice a difference. Classic rotation, do not use updated. It's gross. If you use updated, you're trolling yourself. Controller ADS, I used to play on a very high ADS. For those of you who know, I used to play on like 100, 100, 100. I was insane. But I realized if you want consistency, you don't really need that. Sure, I can play very well on a high sense with a lot of warm-up. But the problem was I would have to come on and warm up for a while in order to really get to that best ability and to be very consistent. So personally, I feel playing on a lower ADS, like this is pretty low for me. Maybe even go up to 50 if you want to, or really use whatever you want. There's no best ADS setting, whatever you could be comfortable with. But the reason why I like this type of ADS is because it's not too fast, but it's not too slow. And when you play on a higher horizontal, it makes the ADS feel a lot faster. Because you're looking around very faster, but once you aim in, it's slowed down. Now I want to talk about FOV. Now I've had a lot of time to use the FOV on console. I've played on 60, I've played on 70, I've played on 80, I've played on everything you can imagine. There's some weird console champions FOVs that are just strange to me. Personally, let me explain. I don't think you need to play on 90. I like 90 because it makes my recoil a lot better and it makes everything feel a lot faster. I think the best one that you should probably use for the most average person would be anywhere from 80 to 84, around there. Personally, I play about this close to my monitor. Not joking. Literally, do you see my monitor right here? Look at this. I play this close to my monitor, so it doesn't really affect me in terms of, like, I can't really see people as much, but I do notice that if you do play on a higher FOV, it's harder to see. So if you're not playing, like, an inch in front of your monitor like me, I would recommend you play on about 84. I think it brings that down a little bit to where you're still very fast, have low recoil, but it's not as far away. If you still do struggle and you feel like 84 is too high, I'd recommend maybe going down to anywhere from 75 to 80. Try that out, maybe more towards the 80 range. I just think a higher FOV is 10 times better, and if you use 60 FOV, you are trolling yourself. I promise you, don't do that. I've seen, I don't know, Dandy Killer, Speedy, Anifex use it. Great players, yeah, you can still do great, but, like, you're literally putting yourself at a disadvantage, and I try to explain this to people, and I don't know why they still do it. They tell me that's because of sensitivity and it feels different. Bro, I don't care if your sensitivity feels different. Like, just get used to it on a higher FOV because you're trolling yourself. You're literally versing MK players and other players who can see you before you can see them. So, like, why? Why do that? Why hinder yourself just because your sensitivity feels different? Just get used to your sensitivity. Like, what are you, stupid? Like, come on. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. But I would say for most people, play on 80 to 85. Maybe 90 if you like 90. I love 90. But really up to you guys. Now, with this new firing range, though, I want to talk about a ton of things real quick with sensitivity. If you want to go in and try out the sensitivity that I give you, you know, give it a try. I don't think you really need to change sensitivity, though, all the time. But this is my sense, and what you can do with your sense is really just warm up on the shooting range. But I'll show you what I like to do, right? So, obviously, you know, see how the recoil control is. Shoot at the, you know, little dummy, or you can switch it around. Shoot at this target range. And see how you feel with sensitivity. See how the recoil control is. That you don't have to play house anymore and sit with an ammo crate, because guess what? There's an ammo crate here and there's a shooting range. But something that I like to do to warm up my tracing, to like tell how I feel on the sensitivity, because you really have to think about it, right? When you play on a sensitivity, you need to see how you feel when you're moving around. You need to be able to get used to, you know, tracing people, right? Looking left and right, holding a gunfight. Ready? Let me show you what I like to do. So, you see this guy right here? I put him on this, right? I like to put this guy on, because you could do, like the other one over there, but I like to do this one, right? So I like to warm up my pre-firing, right? And the way I do that is because it allows me to, while I'm shooting, still be able to control the recoil and be able to control my sensitivity. So it gives me that balance to see, okay, is my aim good enough? Is my sensitivity control good enough? And you can do this if you're changing your sensitivity a little bit, right? So what I do is I come from the side over here, and I start pre-firing around over here, and I try and, like, keep walking and holding my crosshair placement while shooting on this dummy. I'll show you, right? So you come over here, and you go like this. And you just keep following it, and keep following it. You see how I missed a little bit over here? My tracing wasn't the best, right? You keep warming up, right? Clear it over here, come over here. And just see how well you can do. Keep warming up to, like, move across the screen while constantly moving your crosshair onto the guy, so you're adjusting it, and you're controlling the recoil. As you see here, I was able to hit the arm and chest mainly, as you should. But that will help you a lot with your tracing. That will help you a lot with your pre-firing. That will help you a lot kind of to determine how the sensitivity actually feels overall. It's a very, very good warm-up. And if you continue to do that, it will make it feel a lot smoother for your sensitivity. If it's all over the place, keep practicing it or try lowering your ADS or horizontal. It's most likely not your vertical unless you're playing on some crazy vertical sensitivity. Another thing I like to do if I'm warming up in here is I like to come over here if I want to, like, practice my quick peeking, which you don't have to quick peek all the time. Listen, bro, chill, you're not bolo. But, like, if you want to, like, you know, warm up your quick peeking, because quick peeking is still very good just for getting used to it. And, like, peeking a doorway, for example, it's good to quick peek. But what I like to do is I'll come over here and just keep shooting his head and see how, like, accurate I can get to be able to, like, lean left and right. And it's a good warm-up. It's a good warm-up to hide yourself and do that stuff like that. Very solid. And obviously they have this stuff too, right? Pre-firing lower. Get used to tracking like that. Not really warmed up with that yet. I gotta have to, like, obviously warm up more with that. But try out, you know, check out your tracing, see how you feel with that. And obviously you can do prone one. But realistically speaking, I feel like if someone's prone, it's just so much easier, you know, like, you're just gonna get the kill because his head's doing the jug for the most part. But do the same thing with that. Try that. Then put it back up here. I'd say run through all these. Do, like, the standing, do the crouching, do the proning. And see how you feel when you're shooting your sensitivity. See if it's really for you. If you could just follow the tracing and see how you feel. See, that's much better compared to the first one I did earlier. It's all just practice. Come to the shooting range, try it out. This is the best thing that they've added to Siege in a very long time. I love my voice cracks. I love my voice. I need a sip of G Fuel. By the way, use code Penguin on all of your G Fuel orders. Save 30% off until the 20th. Go use it. Wow. Another great warm-up is when you're looking at sensitivity, right? You don't want it to be all over the place, right? Like, and that's why with this 30mm, this, like, 20mm, you can just practice your aim. Like, my aim's not gonna be the best on this, but it is what it is. You just keep practicing, keep doing that. Back up, come over here, And one, obviously, like I'm using LMG. I don't feel like we're loading. I'm just gonna come over here, grab it. It makes it so much easier. You don't have to do that stupid reload animation. It makes everything, you know, just so much easier. But what I'd recommend for you as well is because I don't think that you should completely change your sensitivity based to what I have. I think it's very stupid, right? You need to actually gain muscle memory. I think you change your FOV a lot, right? Go ahead and do that all you want. Try different ones. But I think changing your sensitivity all the time is just not really good. You want to stick with sensitivity, right? So whatever sensitivity you're using, stick with it. Because if you change it all the time, you're never going to gain the muscle memory. Meaning you're never going to be very good on sensitivity. If you want to change it and go to the... Like, let's say you want to try out mine. And you're like, nah, I want to use this one from now on. So what you do, right, you take it and you stick with it and you go into a shooting range and you keep using it over and over and over again. If you are constantly changing your sensitivity, you will never ever gain muscle memory. Muscle memory is the most important thing when it comes to sensitivity, especially on a controller, when you have to adjust to flicking, when you have to adjust to recoil control, when you have to adjust to looking around. And if you're always changing sensitivity, you will actually never have the muscle memory and you're just going to be poo. Like, you're going to put on a new sensitivity and you're never going to be really good with it, or it's not going to feel comfortable because you don't have that muscle memory, you don't have that technique yet, so it takes time. So what I recommend you do, right, is look at my sensitivity, right? Let's say, for example, you played on, let's say you played on like something like this. You played on something like close to each other, right? What you can do is, right, instead of just jumping up to my sensitivity, take your sensitivity, increase your horizontal a little bit, lower your vertical a little bit, and try and give yourself a gap between the vertical and horizontal to have a little bit or a decent amount of a lower vertical and have a decent amount of a higher horizontal. Try that. You don't need to go automatically use my Sens. I just personally think for you, having the variable of a lower vertical and a higher horizontal is going to work out the best way for everyone. Hopefully you guys do enjoy though, and hopefully you did enjoy the video. I think that shooting range is the best way to warm up now. Literally, not only you can shoot at the firing range, you know, but also like back up, shoot at the wall, shoot here. There is so many different things that you can do to warm up now, especially for us controller players. It makes things a lot easier. But I will see y'all though. Enjoy the video. Be sure to leave a like, be sure to comment, and be sure to subscribe. Wow.